How are they different? That's all we want to know here on GMFB. And Jane Slater is going to join us now. Of course, our NFL Network insider and reporter based in Dallas. Jane, you're around this team constantly. Now, we have enjoyed the Cowboys being in town. They've been up in Oxnard, California for the last 6 weeks or so, but now they're back in Frisco, Texas at the Star, their facility outside of Dallas. What can fans expect now from the team moving forward and what their schedule looks like running up to the regular season?
Hey, Jamie, good morning. Well, I asked Brian Schottenheimer that very question yesterday when he had his press conference after returning back to Frisco from, I think it was 26 days out there in Oxnard. And he said, you know, it's going to be shells tonight. It'll be pads on Wednesday. But for fans, you're going to get to see Tyler Smith blocking Quinnen Williams, Dak Prescott throwing to George and CD. And he says they feed off the energy. And while they love the fans, they seemingly really enjoyed this return back here to the Star at Frisco. We certainly saw the crowds out there and the lack of holdouts in California, the Stars. It proves that if Jerry builds it, they will come. They're also going to have this huge drone show after practice with Dak Prescott, Brandon Aubrey, and DeMarvion Overshown in the plaza. But let's be honest, fans are looking forward to seeing those big plays from guys like CD and Pickens. We saw it at camp. And if you think about it, guys, this time last year, the fans didn't know what to expect from George Pickens. There was also the Micah Parsons trade drama that essentially produced Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and Malachi Lawrence. And if we're going to be totally honest, you probably got Christian Parker out of this. Matt Eberflus ultimately went to Dallas hoping to have his star pass rusher in Micah Parsons. Then it was a slew of injuries, and he was out after a season. So, a year removed from all this, it does sort of look like the Cowboys, well, they made a smart move because they got a haul as a result of Micah Parsons. So this will also be fans here at Frisco's first chance to see this 34-year-old whiz kid, first time DC in Christian Parker.
It does seem, Jane, like kind of this calm, collected Cowboys training camp, which is fun. I guess it's different. But the guy who makes noise, we were watching the highlights the other day of Joe Milton, and you're like, how can he not be on the field? He's too talented. He pops too much off the tape for him to just stand on the sideline for an entire game or season. Talk to us about him. What do you know? What do you hear?
Kyle, you're going to love this reference. He's kind of almost been like an Uncle Rico. He can throw it over the mountains for you.
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer talked about this yesterday. He's known for having that big arm. And to your point, when you look at the preseason game, it's sort of hard not to think about him right now. And especially as you get closer to this 53 on Sunday, he's maintained a great relationship with the guys in the locker room. You'll often see him cutting it up with Pickens and Lamb. But remember, they brought in Sam Howell this offseason. They paid him $2 million to come here. But again, I loved this soundbite. This is the sort of stuff that you love, Kyle, as Schottenheimer is talking about his maturation and the finesse needed for the game.
Quite honestly, if you look at Joe's career over the last 4 or 5 years, I first remember hearing about Joe Milton when he was at University of Michigan, and everyone applauded him for how hard and how far he could throw the ball. Cool. That's awesome. Go be in a carnival somewhere. Like, that's not what playing NFL quarterback is. It's not, I can throw the ball 85 yards. You're throwing through small windows. You're throwing over people. You're changing arm slots. So, to me, arm strength is cool, but, go to the fair and win a teddy bear. But you got to play quarterback, and that's what I think you see Joe learning is he's playing quarterback. He's playing quarterback at a high level. He's checking the ball down. He's making blitz adjustments. He's solving problems. He's reading from his first, second to third and even fourth progression at times. It takes time. You don't stop. You don't stop learning as a quarterback, and the only way to do it is to play. And I'm really, really proud of him.
It really made me think of my golf game, Kyle. I've got a hell of a golf swing, but cool. Go to Top Golf and press your friends. It's the middle of the field that I got to work on when we talk about the fairway. So here's what I would say. Who do you move to the practice squad when you're paying one of them $2 million? The other is out playing Sam Howell. I think that's going to be one of the trickier decisions for them, especially when you consider that Dak Prescott, and I hate to bring this up, but he has missed 26 games to injury. You put so much resources on the defensive side of the ball. You believe that this team is special. So do you dare overlook your depth at quarterback? I don't think they do. I think it's very possible that they end up with 3 on this roster.
Jane, you talked about the additions they made on defense and for the past 12 months, whether it be the draft, whether it be trades, whatever it is, free agency, they've made certain moves. And Jerry Jones and coach have always said, hey, we're still looking for somebody. Well, they go and they sign Von Miller. What has been the buzz around Von Miller right now?
You know, it's interesting. You've got Von Miller, a guy who has won a Super Bowl. He's hoisted Lombardi, but he was out here campaigning and politicking, Manti, for a job here with the Dallas Cowboys because he, too, thinks that this defense is special. I find it interesting that we're even talking about Von Miller because I want to show you a tweet that I put up 4 years ago. And if you think about it, so much has changed since then. Essentially, I pointed out, you know what? They've got to go ahead and bring in a Von Miller. And there was another tweet where I put out back then where I basically said, you know, look, they had DeMarcus Lawrence on this squad. You had Micah Parsons. He would just take you over the edge. Look at that. A lot has changed since then. But what I think is really, really interesting is just the fact that when you talk to Schottenheimer, he said they really weren't even talking about Von until they saw him posting himself in Cowboys jerseys. And then they started thinking about it. Okay, what would this look like if we brought in Von Miller? And my favorite quote from Shotty yesterday, I always find his press conferences entertaining. He said, yeah, he's old, but that's a lot of sacks, when he's referencing what he's done in his career, specifically in Washington. So what they like about bringing Von Miller here to do is he doesn't have to do everything, but he had a familiarity with Christian Parker. He had a familiarity with BT Jordan, their pass rush specialist, and they truly believe that he is going to be someone that's going to help young guys like Donovan Ezaraku as well as Malachi Lawrence.
Jane, really incredible story went viral, obviously, from over the weekend, from the week 2 of the preseason, and that is, of course, the first member of the Navajo Nation signing with an NFL team, and she has Pete. The speech was incredible. It was very moving. He has since been asked about it a lot. What's the reality of this 6'9", 315-pound offensive lineman making this roster? Because he's won the hearts of many.
Jerry Jones knows his fan base, Jamie, and he has captured the hearts of the Latino community here, and we've seen him go out and bring in a bunch of Mexican nationals in terms of the practice squad and endearing them to the fan base. At 6'9", he's not a bad guy athletically to put on your roster, but when you just see the way that Navajo Nation showed up at the Arizona Cardinals game for him, and then the way that they're talking about bringing high character guys in that locker room, guys that want to be here, I think this is going to be one of those bubble guys that really tugs at his heartstrings. But as we were really talking to Schottenheimer yesterday, he talked about when you're talking 45 to 53, there has to be some versatility. What can they do on special teams? Special teams wasn't all that special at times last year, so it's been a point of emphasis. So as they go down this roster, there's going to be depth conversations, but also versatility conversations. So let's see if Pete can make the roster.
That's great. Thank you for putting a bow on that, Jane. We can't wait to watch how this unfolds, as you said, from 45 to 53, because the Cowboys are a team that we will watch in its entirety this season. So, Manti and Kyle, who becomes, in your opinion, the most important person for the Cowboys' success on defense this season?
It's their defensive coordinator, Christian Parker.
The young man.
Yeah, I would go with Christian Parker, and this is why. You bring him in because your greatest rival is the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles have one of the best defenses in the NFL. You bring him in because they have a defensive coordinator